Welcome to Spiritual Psychic with Sarah Wiseman, where you'll learn how to unlock the secrets of spiritual intuition and your own psychic gifts. Here's Sarah.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah Wiseman, and today we're talking about, does spiritual bypassing hurt us? Learn how to avoid the false hope of love and light and positive affirmations. Now, this is a little bit of a hot button topic, or a topic that maybe you're not going to agree with, or a lot of you might even find resistance to it, or you might even be angry. And that's because we've been taught for quite some time, probably since about 70s or 80s, maybe a little bit later, but we've been being taught that if you say positive affirmations, I am beautiful and thin, I have a red Maserati, I live in a beautiful home, I attract the partner of my dreams, that if you say those positive affirmations enough, that's what's going to happen. You just have to ask the universe, it's going to happen. And that's not true. Unfortunately, it's not true. And I know a lot of you guys know law of attraction works. Kind of, but not as it's being used currently by most of us, or not as most of us are understanding it. And I know this is hard. This is like someone saying, Santa Claus isn't real. Santa Claus is real in the spirit. Is Santa Claus an actual physical person? The spirit of Santa Claus is what works. So I understand that this might be meeting with some resistance for a lot of you guys who've been following law of attraction and use positive affirmation. What spiritual bypassing is a way of controlling us. And I actually didn't know I was going to say that so strongly until it just came out. But spiritual bypassing is a way of controlling us so we don't look at what's here, what's right in front of us, what actually can be changed. So religions have used spiritual bypassing forever. Cults use spiritual bypassing. Current social media, current companies and organizations, corporations, all use spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is this idea: if you just focus on love and light, you focus on the highest possibility, it's going to sort of magically come true. So instead of that view, you can sit with what is, and then you can ask for guidance on how to move to a direction that you find more interesting. And instead of asking the universe for what you want, and because often, we think we want one thing, but then, we get it and we actually don't want that thing at all. You can, instead of asking the universe for this specific thing that you want, you can instead just ask the universe, please guide me to my highest potentiality. And that sets in motion something entirely different. That takes your ego, your mind, ego, personality, all out of the equation. You're just saying, here I am, soul, human form, this lifetime, here to contribute. How may I contribute? What path should I follow? Where is the place that I'm going to have the most soul growth? And where is the place I'm going to contribute at the highest level to the evolution of everything? So what spiritual bypassing is so popular that it takes forms where it's kind of this insidious belief system, and then we get a little afraid to kick back against it. Like an example, there used to be, or maybe there still are, there used to be these signs that people would put in their kitchen, like, it's wine o'clock somewhere, or mommy's happy juice or something. And it was all about making wine consumption, especially for women, this super positive thing. Like, oh yeah, you got to have wine to relax. And of course, what happened was this commercialized view led a lot of people into, you might call it soft alcoholism, or you might just call it straight on alcoholism addiction. You know, it's going to depend on each person that sort of fell into this commercialization of wine, you know, wine companies trying to sell by making this promotional aspect that all of us started to follow and believe. Another example, well, there's lots of examples. There's lots of things that are so promoted. Well, pharmaceutical companies are continually promoting drugs that may or may not be useful at all, and maybe quite a bit, you know, untested, or they're tested, but they're not tested in terms of if they're the best option for the situation. Like, the pharmaceutical companies are not trying to help us eat healthy and exercise and be healthy. They're trying to give us a drug that does that for us. And so we get this idea, like, if I only take the drug, you know, all good things are going to happen. And this is what happens in spiritual bypassing of spirituality. We think, if I only work on love and light, if I only stay in high vibration, a term you've probably heard, you want to keep your vibration high. Well, what does that really mean? I mean, we're in a physical form. We have an auric field, we have a vibrational field. And if we were to keep our vibration high all the time, we would, you know, our heads would explode and we would just float up into the atmosphere. And sometimes I'll come across people, you know, I meditate 2 hours a day, or I'm continually watching videos like this one about spirituality, or I'm just like reading every spiritual book I can. And then it's like, well, how's your regular life going? It's not, you know, that it's going terribly. And so we're sort of spiritual bypassing by going into this so-called high vibrational thinking. But what we're really doing is we're disassociating from what is. We're letting ourselves not be fully present in how things are or in what is. And we're using spiritual bypassing as our excuse, or as our way to say, that's okay, I can escape. I don't have to be down here in my, you know, my bad relationship, my money problems, my body problems, you know, this relative, that relative, my job. I don't have to deal with any of that, because I'm just going to go watch some law of attraction videos, and I'm just going to sign everything love and light, and I'm just going to stay high vibration. No, can't. We have to be the full whole. I used to say, the good, the bad, the all of it. We have to be all of everything, and can continue trying to integrate the what is, the stuff that isn't so great, and bring that into our life experience too. And when we look at the stuff that isn't so great, that's when often, say you have a terrible relationship, but you've been so busy just going to meditation and watching law of attraction videos and working with your crystals or whatever you're doing, you've been so busy doing that, and you've got this relationship in the back room that's terrible. But until you look at it and go, okay, no more disassociating, no more going into my fantasy world where everything's perfect and love and light, looking at my life now, and what do I want to do about that? And that is where often the biggest growth comes, when we look at what is, and we begin to see if we can accept that, if that's enough for us, or if we want to make some change. And the change, the steps that we make to change, are where our growth happens. So, some of you guys are going to be resistant to this. This is what I found. Kind of frustrates me a lot when I see this continual onslaught of super promoted, super commercialized messaging that is really leading people into almost like an addiction to love and light, an addiction to spirituality as this cure. Spirituality is the path. It's not the destination. The destination is being here, fully integrated, being open to what is and how you approach that. Anyway, I'm Sarah Wiseman, and you will find me at sarahwiseman.com.